As Josephine stepped into the classroom, a heavy silence fell over the room. Her classmates stared at her, some with pity, others with disdain. Her heart pounded. What was happening? Just a week ago, she was the pride of Royal Crest Academy, one of the most prestigious girls' schools in Nairobi. At 16 years old, she wasn't just admired for her intelligence but also for her striking beauty. She had always been at the top of her class, earning the respect of teachers and students alike. Every morning, she woke up early, neatly dressed in her school uniform, and walked through the school gates with confidence. Her long braids, always well kept, framed her face, and her smooth, dark skin glowed in the sunlight. Whenever she passed, whispers followed. That's Josephine, always perfect, always number one. But she paid no attention. Her focus was on her education. She sat at the front of the class, absorbing every lesson, her hand always the first to go up when a question was asked. Yet, as time passed, Josephine started to notice something. Even the teachers seemed distracted by her. Mr. Kamal, the mathematics teacher, often stumbled over his words when explaining concepts to her. Mr. Otieno, the literature teacher, praised her essays a little too much, his eyes lingering on her longer than necessary. Still, she brushed it off. Every afternoon, when other students rushed home, Josephine stayed behind in the classroom, reviewing her notes, preparing for the next day. One evening, as the sun cast long shadows on the empty room, a voice called out to her. "Josephine, you're still here." She looked up to see Linda, one of her classmates, standing at the door. "Yes," Josephine replied with a smile. "Just finishing some extra reading." Linda walked in, scanning the pile of books on Josephine's desk. She shook her head and let out a small laugh. "If I were as beautiful as you, I wouldn't stress myself like this," Linda said. Josephine frowned. "What do you mean?" Linda smirked. "Come on, don't tell me you haven't noticed how the teachers look at you, especially Mr. Kamal and Mr. Otieno. You could easily get good grades without working so hard." Josephine's eyes widened. "That wouldn't be right," she protested. Linda shrugged. "Just a thought. Anyway, don't stay too late." As Linda left, Josephine sat in silence, her mind swirling with new thoughts. Had she been blind to something obvious? Could life be easier if she used her looks to her advantage? That night, as she lay in bed, she made a decision. Tomorrow, I'll test this out. Little did she know, that choice would change her life forever. The next morning, Josephine woke up earlier than usual. She stood before her mirror, hesitating before reaching for the makeup kit her aunt had given her on her birthday. She had never used it before. With careful hands, she applied a light touch of foundation, a little blush, and a soft layer of lip gloss. Instead of her usual neat braids, she let her hair down, the curls cascading over her shoulders. As she walked into the school compound, she noticed the difference immediately. More heads turned than usual. The whispers were louder. Even some of the teachers did a double take as she passed. In Mr. Kamal's math class, she put Linda's theory to the test. When the teacher handed out a surprise quiz, Josephine felt a moment of panic. She hadn't studied for this one. But then she remembered Linda's words. As Mr. Kamal collected the papers, she smiled at him and said sweetly, "Sir, I hope I did well. I really want to maintain my grades in your class." The teacher seemed flustered. "I'm sure you did just fine, Josephine. You're my best student, after all." The next day, when the quizzes were returned, she saw a perfect score on her paper. Josephine stared at it. She knew she hadn't answered all the questions correctly. Could Linda have been right? Encouraged by this, she started using her charm more. A smile here, a kind word there. Suddenly, she was getting better grades on tests she hadn't fully prepared for. At first, it felt like a relief. She could finally get some rest instead of studying late into the night. But Josephine didn't realize what was happening around her. Her classmates, once full of admiration, began to whisper behind her back. Even Linda, who had planted the idea, watched with jealousy. She had never expected Josephine to be this successful at it. And then, something happened that Josephine never saw coming. To be continued in part 2. What happens next? Josephine overhears a shocking conversation between the teachers. She realizes that the favors they are giving her might come with unspoken expectations. Linda pushes her to go even further, but Josephine refuses. A betrayal leads to a scandal that ruins Josephine's reputation overnight. Part 2 coming soon. Kindly subscribe to this channel to watch part 2 of this great story, and share your comments about the story so far.